Hi guys, we're reading chapter 27 of The Boy Who Grew Dragons. Sorry, I was reading the chapter. The chapter is called Flaming Cabbages. Having eaten everything edible and inedible in sight, let's just say the golden dragon had left a fair few dragon delights around the tent. Oh no. And right then, several of them started to explode. There was a shriek from Kat, and then Ted came stumbling out of the tent, closely followed by Kai, who crashed into Grim. Kat crawled out after them, covered in dragon poo. "This is truly disgusting," she spluttered. But before anyone else could say anything, I heard a familiar little sneeze from inside of the tent, followed by another one. Something had got up Flicker's nose, and I could tell he was revving up for a full-on sneezing fit. Only this time what came out... Sorry for all the cars. Only this time what came out wasn't just a spark. It was an actual burst of flame. Talk about the worst possible time for this to happen. I leapt back and the flame rocketed past me and ignited several of Grandad's cabbages piled on the nearby wheelbarrow. "They're playing with fire now, the little hooligans," cried Grim. I'd have denied it, except it was at this point that Ted's dragon, who had taken up residence in the blackberry bush, did an enormous belch and burned the heads off loads of Nana's roses. "Pyromaniacs," said Grim. "They've got explosives in there." Pyromaniacs are people that like to abuse fire and hurt people with fire. Poor Grandad looked utterly stunned, and I couldn't blame him. Ted scrambled towards the bush, but the purple dragon who had been darting in and out of the elevator... who'd been darting in and out of the lavender bushes, where did I get elevator from, was peeing in panic, and since the pee froze on impact, As the pea froze on impact, it had turned the garden path into a nice ice rink. Oh no. So here's some pictures. Oh no, an ice rink made of pea? No. Ted slipped and skidded his way straight into Grim, who'd only just recovered from being buffeted by Kai. Grim toppled backwards and landed on the handles of the wheelbarrow, catapulting flaming cabbages into the air. This was too much of a temptation for Kai's dragon. Having turned a silvery grey to match the silver birch, he started batting them left and right and centre with his tail. I watched in horror as the cabbages rocketed towards Grandad and Lolly, who were both now ducking for cover. Flicker flitted out of the tent and darted into the leaves of the tree. He perched on the branch, eyes fixed on me. I didn't know what to do. The dragons were on the loose, and I had no idea how to stop them. Kat and Kai were running around frantically bashing flaming cabbages with a garden broom and trying to distract anyone who might turn their attention to the little shapes above. Unable to catch his dragon, Ted raced up over to help them. But I just stood there, hopelessly looking from Flicker to the devastation unfolding around us. Suddenly, Flicker launched into the air, zipped towards Kat's dragon and began flickering like a beacon. It caught the purple dragon's attention, and with Flicker leading the way, they zipped back to the tent. Thank goodness for Flicker. But there were still two more dragons causing chaos. Seeing Flicker reappear from the garden tent, I nodded towards the golden dragon who was belching flames. Maybe if we worked together, we could do this. So there's Grim falling into the wheelbarrow and the flying cabbages going everywhere. I grabbed the marshmallow from my pocket and threw it into the air towards Flicker, gesturing at the golden dragon again. Quick as a flash, Flicker caught it and dangling it from his claws like bait, he waved it in front of Ted's dragon. It was tempting enough to persuade the dragon back into the tent. Now, for Kai's super stealth dragon, it seemed like this one was even keener to stay hidden than the others. Maybe if I could force him out into the open where he could have nothing to hide against, he would take cover in the tent. I waggled a leafy branch up the tree to where I could just make out a little dragon shape. I nudged him from his camouflage, and he flew out. And as he flew out, Flicker released an arc of sparks, herding him towards the tent like a sheepdog with a sheep. I watched as the dragon turned the same dark blue as the tent and finally zipped inside. We'd done it! But I thought it was all over, but it wasn't. I was wrong. As Grim struggled to get to his feet on the icy path, the tent began to rise into the air. Oh no. It swung side to side like some kind of ghost. It was a really strange sight, and Grim obviously thought so too. What the blazes, he cried. Grim slid his way along the icy path towards the gate like a baby giraffe trying to skate. With his arms and legs windmilling in the opposite directions, he fled from the flapping tent. But it billowed after and chased him out of the garden. I saw a flash of gold as Ted's dragon popped out and bit him on the bum, just for good measure. Grim howled, and he didn't dare slow down. As he watched the tent and Grim disappeared down the lane, somebody else ran out of the cover of the hedge. Hey, there's that sneak Liam, Kai cried. What's he doing? Kat asked. He was bent over, clutching his stomach with one hand, shielding his head from the aerial tent attack with the other. Oh, what's he up to now? I don't know, but I'm glad he wasn't sniffing around earlier, replied Kai. Me too, I agreed. But right now we have other things to worry about, like flaming cabbages. Then, as if out of nowhere, black clouds appeared and eerie light filled the sky. I remembered seeing something like that once before when we were on the ferry to France and a big storm blew up. Everything had turned a strange colour. I looked over to Flicker and he seemed to be glowing especially brightly in the stormy light. Suddenly, big fat drops of rain started to fall. With a sigh of relief, I saw the small fires around us fizzling out. Bad dragon! Bad dragon! Lolly gabbled and jabbing a chubby finger towards disappearing Grim. What's she saying? Grandad said, looking bewildered. He was still crouched over her, shielding both of them with his arms, unsure if the threat of flying fiery cabbage had truly passed. Bad what? Badger, she's saying she saw a badger. Over there. I pointed away from the dragons. You were right all along. It must have been badgers causing all this chaos in Grim's garden. Personally, I think I deserve a medal for that level of quick thinking under the circumstances. Ouchie, Lily said. She pointed the mess of stuff left behind from the tent. Grandad's lamp had smashed, and glass lay across the scorched grass. That blooming thing, said Grandad. I'm sorry, Thomas. I shouldn't have let you use it. Nana always said the one thing was a fire hazard. I almost gasped with relief. Without knowing, Lolly had given us the perfect excuse for the fires. I should have listened to her, Grandad went on. But don't go telling her I said that, or she'll never let me hear the last of it. Our little secret, hey? He winked. I smiled. Our little secret, Grandad. I looked around at the scorched cabbages, splattered garden, and... Let me read that sentence again. I looked around at the scorched cabbages, splattered garden, and the tent now hanging from a nearby tree, dragon faces peeping out. Ted, Kat, and Kai were looking as relieved as I felt. I grinned at them and gave them the thumbs up. Lolly started tugging at my trouser, and I bent down. She found a grass-covered marshmallow and was happily sucking on it. She gave me a kiss, which was actually more of a nosy slobber. But I didn't mind, because thanks to her, the dragons will still stay our secret. And Grandad, well, he had his twinkle back. Good job, Lollybob Bobolob. Good job, I whispered. She gave me a sticky high five. So there you go. We all have dragons, and since you're still here, that probably means you want one too. You haven't taken one tiny bit of notice of all the exploding poos, uncontrollable sparks, and general wanton destruction, have you? Well, you can't say I haven't warned you. I can see you're desperate for a dragon, and that whatever I say isn't going to put you off. I know, because I wouldn't have listened to me either. Not when there's a chance to have your own dragon. Okay, so what have we learnt? First off, by now you should know what to look for. You were paying attention to that, I hope. You did take some notes about the dragon fruit tree. Make a few sketches? No? Honestly, you need to keep your eye on the ball if you're going to keep a dragon. Alright, one more time. Look out for a tree with knobbly hairy trunks, long spiky green cactus arms, weird sprouty mop top, dangly great tendrils, red spiky pineapple fruit. Got it? Right. Because that, you dragon seeking desperados is what you're looking for. If you want to grow dragons, did you note that if there, which should be a very big if? No, of course you didn't. You're already dreaming of all those flames and fire breathing and flying. And who can blame you? But let me just tell you this. I do know I was wrong about dragons being the coolest thing in the world. They're not. So, he's just telling us about the tree, what to look for. Oh, I wonder why he thinks they're not cool. Because Flicker isn't the coolest thing. He's not even a pet. He's my friend. Now that Ted, Kat and Kai have their dragons, they'll get to see it too. So that's what you can expect once you've found your dragon fruit tree and hatched a dragon yourself. But after that, what more can you expect? Let's just say that's something we're going to find out. Got the dragon fruit that fell. Oh no, look who's on the next page. He's got one of the dragons. Oh no, we have to read the next book. We need to find out. Oh my goodness me. So, if you enjoyed this book, there are loads more in the series, if you can see. So we've been reading this one. There's still The Boy Who Lived with Dragons, The Boy Who Flew with Dragons, and The Boy Who Dreamed of Dragons. So if you're interested, see if you can find any of these books online. And great job, guys. Really nice book. And I'll catch you soon. Bye.